decided to come on camera one more last time before I go ahead and try to take a nap. Because, y'all, I've been up since like 3 this morning and it's about to be 12 now. So, this is one of the reasons why I have such a weird time frame of when I'm up and when I'm not. But anyway, I decided to come back on video to talk to you guys about another subject that I feel like is not talked about enough. I feel like we always talk about how hard life is, but we never talk about how difficult it is to learn how to stop caring, stop loving, and stop having feelings for people who we already have feelings for. What I mean by that is, people always say, oh, make sure that you don't have feelings for people who don't have feelings for you, which is easier said than done. Because in all of the facts of reality, a lot of times your hardships and your bad circumstances in your life create your relationships. What do I mean by that? A lot of times the people that you have the most horrible relationships with, or you don't have any relationship with at all, are the same type of people that you look for when you're looking for relationships, when you're looking for friendships. And I've come to realize that. And the reason why we look for those same people is because those are who are familiar to us. You look for people who are familiar to you. So if you're familiar with a certain type of behavior, you're going to automatically attract that type of behavior unless you condition yourself not to attract it. But if you don't condition yourself not to attract it, you're automatically going to attract it. So a lot of times we attract people that reflect our families. We attract people that reflect friendships back into our lives. And a lot of times we attract those things because we have not fixed everything that needed to be fixed, that triggered us and drew us to what we really didn't want. Because it's your triggers that make you feel familiar with a person who you may be familiar with that person because that person reminds you of somebody that you know, but they don't remind you of anything good. So when they don't remind you of anything good, you have to remind yourself of that. And you got to recognize, hold up, this person is familiar to me, but I need to recognize why. And when I recognize why, I need to understand, okay, is this a good thing that is attracting me to this person, or is this bad things that's attracting me to this person? And I feel if I feel like it's good things that's attracting me to this person, but this person is not showing me good behavior, then I have to learn how to understand that regardless of how I feel about this person, I can't continue to feel that way, because if they're acting the opposite way, in a way that lets me know that they don't deserve me in their life and they don't deserve for me to have feelings for them, then I have to in turn now make the decision in my own mind to choose to not like them, to not love them, to not be interested in them, to not even see them anymore. Because I have to recognize that this person has shown me that their energy is not right. They've shown me that they're not appreciative. They've shown me that they're the type of people who can have great people in their lives, and instead of appreciating those people, these are the kind of people that will disappreciate and show arrogance towards that person instead of appreciation. So that's why I felt the need to talk about this, because I feel like we have to learn how to unlearn what we have been taught our whole lives. We have to learn how to unlearn being attracted to things that are toxic and that are literally not good for your sanity. because too many times we are attracted to people that are like that, but we're not attracted to them because we want to be. We're attracted to them because we're attracted to what's familiar to us and what we have not completely healed from yet. And sometimes, unfortunately, you can heal, but you can possibly partially heal and not completely heal. So therefore, you still can attract certain things that is not beneficial to your growth and your maturity in God. And I'm learning that more and more as the days go by, that, you know, in some areas I have healed. I definitely know that for a fact. But I also know for a fact in some other areas I may have missed. Some other areas I may have to go back over. Because we are very intricate beings. We have a lot of levels to us. You know, so it's okay if you have to go back over and recognize, okay, I messed up here. You know, okay, I didn't really figure this part out yet. It's not too late. You're still alive. You're still here. You're still, you know, able to do better this time. So, guys, Truth Tribe, I encourage you guys to be gracious with yourself. I'm learning as best as I can to be gracious with myself. Really show myself grace and love and respect, and acknowledge what I've gone through, what I've been through, and what I am still going through, and what I'm in the process of right now. Because these steps are creating who I am and reiterating who I am. So these steps are important for me to know, so that if I ever need to come back and speak some strength into myself, speak some hope into myself, speak more energy into myself, I can do that by reminding myself of what I've already gotten past, what I've already gotten through. I've already survived some of the craziest things that you can imagine. And God has helped me through those things. And God's going to continue to keep helping me through those things, because God knows my heart. God knows that even though I'm not perfect, I am striving to be as perfected as possible. I know that there is no perfect person under the sun. Even in the Bible it says so. But that does not stop me from pressing towards being the best version of me that I can become, because I know within myself that I deserve to be that person. I deserve to be the best version of myself. And God, as my Father, deserves to see me become that. My ancestors deserve to see me become that. And that would be my thank you to my ancestors that came before me. Thank you that you guys have paved the way for me to be able to be here today, to make a way for myself and those who may come from me as well. Those who I may end up being an ancestor to one day, if God allow. So guys, y'all know my cues. Stay encouraged, you know. That's what my motto is for this channel. I do the best that I can to encourage myself and also help to encourage you guys, my Truth Tribe, my following, my supporters. Stay encouraged and know that even in the worst of times, when it feels like God's left you. I mean, there's definitely been some times that I feel like, God, you said you'd never leave me, but I'm feeling like you're not here, you know? But even in the worst of times, God's still by your side. And it's amazing because God is really like your father. Because just like your mom and your dad might allow you to suffer because of making mistakes, or, you know, living life and maybe doing things wrong, your mom or dad may allow you to suffer and sit in what you're experiencing. And it's crazy because it's like, that's what's going on when you feel like God's not there. He's just being the parent in the room who knows that you need to learn this lesson. So you have to go through this. God doesn't want to watch you go through this. We might feel like, God, how can you sit there and watch me go through this and allow me to go through this? But how he can is because he loves you. And because he knows that if you don't go through this, you won't learn. And you have to learn if you want to grow. You have to learn if you want to become better. So you have to understand that sometimes the hardships are a part of the climb. Unfortunately. And it hurts. It does. It hurts. You know, the hardships hurt. They do. But they teach you. And I have to understand that some of the harshest lessons in my life that I've ever learned from was some of the worst things that I've ever been through. Those were the heaviest lessons. The most important lessons. The lessons that really meant the most. And that really changed my life around and changed me as a person. So, sorry guys, I got a little emotional with you, but I'm just really getting a lot of downloads these days and understanding how God moves and how God works, and recognizing, I'm sorry y'all, but recognizing that God really does love us. But it's a special kind of love that sometimes might not make sense. And that's why it's like a mom or dad. It's like a parent. Because sometimes, like, don't you be a little confused, especially when you're young? Don't you be kind of confused about how your mom and or dad acts towards you, or how they treat you, or how they respond to certain circumstances and situations that is regarding you? I'm recognizing that's why the Bible describes God as the Father, because he really is like a dad, you know. And I guess I'm just recognizing and realizing this because I never had a dad in my life. So maybe that's why it took a while for me to really get it, that that's what I'm going through. Like, God is being a father to me. I'm sorry, guys, but just the realization that I'm really starting to feel like God is being a father. And he's not defending me in person like a physical father would, but he is defending me and protecting me and preparing me mentally and emotionally to learn how to protect myself and to better attract people that are going to protect me better. And I thank God for that, because this is what I've been praying for. And it's happening. And I know it's happening even though I don't really see everything yet. The little bit that I do see, I appreciate it, because I understand and I know that that's what this is. I know that this is God taking care of me, but taking care of me in the way that He does it. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I'm recognizing how God is actually answering my prayers. I don't see the whole picture yet, but it's coming in bits and pieces, and it's like a puzzle, and I'm finding the pieces and I'm fitting it in there, and I'm not forcing it like I used to. I used to force fit. I used to try to make things fit. Now, no, I don't have to try to make it fit anymore. Guys, I know I'm crying, but these are tears of joy, because I understand now that I actually can live my life and know that I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be great. I'm not just gonna be good, I'm gonna be great, because God is here for me. God does still care for me. And I appreciate that so much, because I know I'm not perfect. I know that I'm human and I'm liable to make mistakes. I have made many of them in my life already, and I'm going to probably make many more. But I know that my heart is with God. And I know that even though I'm confused about a lot of things in this world, and a lot of things that we're commonly taught, but what I'm not confused about is where my heart is. And I know my heart is not with the devil. My heart is so far from the enemy. And I know that's why the enemy tries to attack me. But the devil is a lie. And the attacks will forever fail, even if they seem like they have been successful. They will still fail in the long run, because God has a calling on my life. I'm special. And I always knew that I was special. I just didn't understand the specialness. I'm starting to really understand the specialness. I don't really completely get it yet, but slowly but surely, I'm definitely starting to understand the specialness of who I am and why I'm here. And it's definitely starting to make more sense. As I get older, it's really starting to make more sense. A lot of other things are starting to make no sense, but I'm learning as I go, and I have to be patient with myself. But I do understand that life is a journey. Nipsey was definitely correct when he said it's a marathon. It's not a race. I totally understand what that means. too many times in life, we're kind of like indirectly taught to rush life, rush into growing up, making us get old fast, rush into having our own, rush into becoming owners, rush into becoming wives and husbands and mothers and fathers. And we're taught to rush into things so much that we take the attention off of what we're even doing in the first place. We forget. Why are you even here to start with? To be rushing. Can we recognize why we came in the door before we rush to leave out? But that's the thing. We live in a rushed world. I mean, I remember, and I'm possibly could have those situations again. I pray I don't, but I remember that when I was working a regular job, whatever shift it was, a lot of times I couldn't wait until my shift was over and I hadn't even got to work yet. And why was that? Because I couldn't stand my job. Because I didn't have a passion for it. I just was doing it because I knew I have to do something to make a living for myself. And until I get to the point where my businesses and all the other endeavors that I am pursuing will finally develop the way that I need them to earn me more than enough money that I don't have to work for anybody anymore. But until then, I need to do what I need to do and find ways to be able to take care of myself, pay for my responsibilities, my bills, my rent, whatever, and do for myself. And the best way to do these things these days is to get a job. And so that's why I was conditioned, just like everybody else, to just go ahead and get a job and take care of the bills and take care of myself. And, you know, that's how you fall right into the trap. But you don't have to fall into the trap if you're prepared for life beforehand. And if your parents create some type of flow of income for you, so that when you do develop and you do become grown, you don't start life with nothing. Unfortunately, I was one of those people that started life with nothing. Not a broken down property that I would have appreciated like nobody's business, honey. But no. Not a few $1,000s, even though thousands of dollars is not even that much. Honey, when I tell you how much I would have appreciated it if I got it, nope. Nothing. But since nothing came to me, I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to make sure something comes from me of value, of luxury, of importance, of quality. And I'm going to make sure a life comes for me that I used to at one point only dream that I can actually make come true. And I want to be able to come back on this video to talk to you guys and be able to tell you, do an update and be able to tell you how, yeah, I came up. God did it. And y'all, to be continued. I'm definitely going to come back and let you guys know. God did it. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you guys know. God did it. So if God can do it for me, I know God can do it for you. And I'm saying it right now, just speaking in faith, because I haven't seen it yet. I'm watching it unfold slowly but surely, but I haven't seen it happen yet. But I feel it coming, and for that I am grateful, and I'm forever thankful that God, I see that you are answering my cries and my prayers, and I appreciate it. I do. Most definitely. I know sometimes I may not seem like it all the time because I may get engulfed by problems and issues and complications in life, but God, I really do appreciate everything, and I'm so thankful and grateful. And guys, I encourage y'all to be grateful and thankful as well, because you never know what kind of blessings God's going to finally bestow upon you when you show that gratefulness and that thankfulness. And yes, I'm a witness that it's hard. It's not easy sometimes to be grateful and thankful when you're going through this and you're going through that, and sometimes that's all you can think of. But you have to condition yourself to stop thinking about that. Sometimes you have to make yourself be delusional just for a moment, so that you can understand that God is still in control. And God still got this. And God still got you too. God still loves you. God really did mean it when he said, I would never leave you nor forsake you. He really meant that. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I'm thankful that God really meant that. And y'all, True Tribe, be grateful that God really means that. Even in your worst times, God is still there, because he's teaching you and he's showing you the way, even in your troubles, even in your sin, even in your confusion. God is taking off the blinders. God is helping you to be able to see when you have been blinded by society. God is going to give you back your sight and get you to understand that the battle is not yours, it's his. All you have to do is trust in him, believe and have faith, and follow his law, his rule, and his example. And he's going to help you to be able to build the life that you only thought you could dream of. But he's going to show you how you can make your dreams come true. I'm going to share with you guys a short story time. Actually, I shared this before. I might tag my video that I shared this story in to this specific video. But I actually already have brought into fruition something that I really already wanted and used to think that I could only dream of. And I did have dreams about it. Excuse me. My vacation to Vegas. I've been to Vegas one time so far. And the one time that I've been, before the time that I went, to be honest with you guys, I had no idea that I would ever end up being able to go to Vegas, especially not anytime soon, because of my financial instabilities and frustrations that I've been going through. So when I was trying to planned the trip, I was just not taking no for an answer. I just wasn't. I just was like refusing to take no for an answer. I just kept pursuing, planning, and orchestrating this trip until it became a reality. And I feel God telling me that's the same thing I have to do for the rest of my life. Everything that I want, everything that I dream of, everything that I yearn for, I have to become relentless in getting it. Not evil, but relentless, which means nothing's going to stop me. And I have already been learning how to do that, but I need to learn how to become relentless, but with rules. Because sometimes you can become relentless and that can become an issue for you. Because then you can continue to pursue thinking that that's what you're supposed to do when you're not. So you have to come to an understanding of some rules to be able to recognize when being relentless is not the way to go, because your ability to recognize certain red flags and complications and not allow yourself to get too deep into issues that you don't have to go too far into. It's like a thin line that you definitely have to draw there, because that's how I ended up getting my page hacked, because I was so relentless on getting that job that I let it cloud my judgment. I let my need for a job cloud my judgment of whether I was dealing with a real person that was, producing a job or not. So I understand that we have to become relentless in what we want, but we also have to be very mindful and careful that we don't become so vulnerable that we allow the enemy in without recognizing it, because we think that we're doing ourselves a favor. Gotta be careful. But still, you can't let anyone stop you from what you know God has for you. I knew God had a job for me, it just wasn't that job. So I just had to recognize that and acknowledge that and just move on, instead of being so relentless for that particular job. I understand that now. But yeah. So that's why I get it. It's okay to have rules. It's okay to say no because of. That's fine. You can change your mind. That's why I always look at it as a red flag if a person tells me I can't change my mind or I can't adjust my feelings or thoughts on something. That's always a red flag, because that always is a sign that that person is trying to trap you in something. And usually if they're trying to trap you into something, it's never good. So be mindful of the red flags and make sure to be conscientious of the green lights. Be conscious of when you should go ahead and continue. When it is working out in your favor effortlessly. You ask the necessary questions that needs to be asked if need be, but if not, you accept the blessing that God has for you. But if you see red flags or anything that looks suspicious, stop. Pay attention. Don't overlook that. Acknowledge it sit in it for a moment and understand it, and then find a solution and move on. All right, guys. I hope things came out and flowed well, because I am fairly tired. But I did get a little nap earlier, so I'm not completely tired, but I'm a little groggy. But I sure did not write down anything, so if things flowed well, put a thumbs up in the comment section and tell me I did a good job with how I was flowing, because I feel like I flowed pretty good, even though I didn't write anything down and I wasn't really prepared for this specific video, but it was definitely necessary. It was needed. It was needed for me first, and I do believe that it was needed beyond me. So that's why I feel like God touched on my heart to bring it to my Truth Tribe. So guys, that's why you like, you comment, and you share, and you subscribe, and you make sure you become a part of the Truth Tribe. Because when you vibing with Ruth, you vibing with the truth, and that's that. That's just that on that. And I will see you when I'm coming back.